Hey everyone, this is James and this is my 4-hour chart of Bitcoin. This is BTC USDT on the Binance exchange. So this is my 4-hour chart, and if you've not seen my prior videos, real quick, Bitcoin has been in a downtrend and we've now broken out of that downtrend. We actually broke out of that downtrend earlier in March, like I think somewhere around late. Let's see, about March 1st is when we actually officially broke out of there. But anyways, what I talked about in my prior videos, if you've not seen those, is the symmetry. You can see that everything to this side is extremely volatile. You can see the wild swings. You can see the oscillation throughout there, and then if you look to the right hand side, you see it's a little more muted, so price is getting just a little smoother. What I think that's from is that we are on the backside of a bubble, and on the bubble is as you rise you have your fall and then you have your normalization of the market. I do think that is a positive for the long term for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market. So I talked about in my prior video that we were going to head higher, and I do still believe we are going to head higher. However, I did say there could be a pullback. I did not know the severity of it. There was really no way to gauge that. But based on this action right here, I do think if we cannot recapture this orange bar right here, then there will be more downside. Now we may have hit the bottom right here. Hang on real quick, my brush got a little crazy. But we may have hit the bottom. Let me zoom in. That way everybody can see. Right here. This may have been a temporary bottom point, and what we've done is we've broken out of a consolidation, moved to the downside, retested the prior consolidation, and I do think that if you were listening to my video from yesterday or last night, that it's going to be a struggle to get over this 11,400 zone because we're so close to the prior top at 11,786 on the Binance exchange. Every other exchange is like almost around that range too. So the problem is as we get closer there's going to be a lot of hesitation in the market. There's going to be a lot of selling pressure in this area, which we're seeing, and that is going to cause this pullback. Also, too, since it is the weekend, I did have my theory that over the weekend we would pull back or at least negate the upside that we basically captured on Friday to Saturday. So this is what you see here. As we capture that, I figured it was going to be a race. I did not think we'd pull back this far. I actually thought we would probably break even, turn a little sideways, and then move up from there. So this was a little scarier of a drop than I thought, even though it's just a couple percent. But as long as we can recapture this orange line right here, I'm going to feel confident that price is just going to continue to head upward. I still believe that tonight into tomorrow morning, we are going to see more upside for Bitcoin. However, how much more downside we get in the meantime, there's just no way I can exactly tell you on that. What I can do is just I can have my lines out, I can see how price reacts to them, and I can make my logical assumptions from there. But I do think that price just needs to kind of pull back. We've expended a lot of energy, okay? Everything I do is based on energy, it's based on frequency. I do not focus on lagging indicators, volume, or anything like that. So when you look at this run, this is a lot of energy expended. You can see as price got vertical, it had to pull back to generate the energy it needed to pull back, to push higher. And the same thing, it had to keep doing that and keep doing that. And there's no reason that I see that this little pullback here, even if this pullback goes a little bit deeper, and we could easily hit 10.9, 10.8 on the Binance exchange, and I would still be bullish on Bitcoin. So there is quite a pullback that can occur here to generate the amount of energy that is needed to bust through this area. So that is everything that I do in a nutshell. Is that everything I do is based on energy, is based on frequency, is based on price action. And what I can tell you from this chart is that I still believe Bitcoin is heading much higher. Like I've been saying, I do think that it is headed to about the mid 12,000 range first after we blow out this top. And then from there, I think we could easily see the mid 13,000. So, this is not investment advice for anyone, but this is just based on my analysis for educational purposes on where price action could lead in the future as time progresses. So basically, I think that what we've done here is just a nice solid pullback again. The zones that I'm watching for is 11,786 for the top. I want to see how price reacts as we get near there. I imagine if we do move up tonight, like I'm thinking, into tomorrow morning, it's going to be something like this, a pullback, and then probably a push through finally. Or we could just creep along the top here and then bust through. As long as we do that, I'm going to feel confident that eventually my price target of about the mid 13,000 range, I have it right about 13,400, is going to be hit. I think that once we break this top, like I said in my prior video, then price would start to go vertical, because a lot of people are expecting price to drop a lot lower. I think that's why you see a lot of this selling pressure in this area too, is that everybody's hoping to get in significantly lower, especially since the bottom of 6,000 was put in. Ever since 6,000 was put in, even myself, I thought this pullback right here was going to go significantly lower. I thought we were going to go into the 8,000 range, probably mid 7,000 range, and put in that higher low still, but create that uptrend structure. Unfortunately, it did not come. And that's what happens in bottoms, is that, when they happen, a lot of people are very slow to the reaction. If you're not willing to change your mindset, you're going to miss out. And that's what happened. A lot of people missed out already, sorry about that, on this run right here. And I think as we break to the new high, news is going to spread of that. Traders are going to see that. And once that happens, the fear of missing out is really going to kick in. And I think price is going to go, it's going to go steep. It's going to be vertical. The slope is going to dramatically change as we do that. That's my hypothesis based on my frequency line set. We'll have to see what happens. That's why I do these videos every day. I do Bitcoin multiple times a day, because Bitcoin dictates the other cryptocurrencies, like Litecoin, Ethereum, and so forth. Ethereum's been very sluggish lately, so Litecoin's almost been going hand in hand. It was actually outpacing Bitcoin for a bit last night into the morning today. But right now, they kind of seem like they're doing very similar price action. So that's why I do a lot of emphasis on Bitcoin, because it does typically dictate the overall market. So I don't want to keep going on a tangent, but basically, like I said, we're getting the pullback. I'm still bullish. What I see here in this price action is a pullback and now a curl. And what I mean by that, let me draw it right here so that way you can see. We're going to pull back and now we're curling back in. Typically when we curl back in, that's a positive sign. If we do not break above this orange line right here, it's not going to be a positive sign for the short term. And I think that price could possibly break through the green trend line and hit the red trend line to build up the energy it needs to burst through. Okay, so I'm still bullish on Bitcoin. I still think that we're headed higher. My price objective is the mid 13,000 range. We could possibly get as low as 10,800, 10,820 on the Binance exchange, depending on how far we move into time and space, get that drop, and then a bounce upward. So that's what I'm anticipating. The next video I do will be in the evening today. It'll be about 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I like to wait till after about like 6 p.m. I know between about 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the market typically changes quite dramatically. And then again, from around 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the market changes as well. So those are like the hot points that I've seen. The overnight action from the Asian market and so forth is I think a little hotter than what you see here in the domestic, like in the U.S. market. They just seem to really push price around in the overnight market a lot, and I feel like by the time the United States is waking up to participate, it's just it's just kind of dull in most cases. Sometimes we have the carry through, sometimes the carry through comes, but in most cases it's just like it's a rather dull price action throughout the day, and then everything starts to speed up into the overnight. So we'll see what happens though. Like I said, tonight is when I am anticipating price to make a move. I do think that move is going to be positive, and I think that's going to carry over into the week. So then that way the futures traders can take advantage of it as well too. So the futures close on Saturday. There's that break right there, and then people get left out, and I think that puts a lot of pressure on the market. Especially from outside traders that could potentially manipulate the market. Not trying to get into conspiracy or anything like that, but that does happen. It happens quite often. I trade in the gold market a lot, and I can tell you that the manipulation is there, and it's always going to be there in every single market, especially when whales know that they can just push price around, they can find where people are off balance, and they can dramatically change a market. So you always have to be ready for anything, and that's why in my videos I try to cover both sides. So I don't mean to ramble on, but I just try to give people knowledge based on my prior experience. Like I said, I've been doing this for over I want to say like 9 years now, possibly maybe 10. I'd have to go through and track everything, but time flies. I've been doing this for a long time. I did it professionally as a stockbroker and an investment advisor. So I've seen a lot, been in the market a lot, and I've weathered quite a lot of storms, especially the 2008 era. So but you get to see a lot of things, and it just gives you a confidence that you have to have when you have your own analysis, when you do your own charting. It doesn't matter what you use. If you want to use lagging indicators, if you want to use like lines like I'm doing or so forth, you just have to believe in it. You always have to have your stops into place, and you always have to have a game plan, and you have to be able to see both sides, and you have to know when you're wrong, and when you're wrong, you're wrong, and you need to get out and not hang on. So I thought that I was going to be wrong overnight, especially after I saw this big 4-hour bar, and I honestly thought we were going to get a continuation and possibly a return into the negative downset, and that would have been bad for price. But I saw it turn, and I saw what was happening in the overnight market, and I realized that I didn't think it was going to go any lower than where it hit, honestly, at this bar right here. And so far I've been right. And I do like the curling action. I do think this is going to be bullish. I do think this pullback again was to bring price higher because it needed to recapture that energy that it expended from 9,300 to 11,500 almost on the Binance exchange. So that's it. I don't mean to ramble on. Just try to explain everything. Try to explain everything that's going through my head. Try to drop as much knowledge as I can within these short videos. I mean, it's 12 minutes. 12 minutes isn't a long time, especially when you're trying to explain trading strategies and so forth. But I try to keep everything short and sweet. If you have any comments or questions, just ask. If you're watching on social media, like, share, subscribe, and that's it for today. I will talk to everybody in the evening. Again, it's March 4th, and it's about 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this is the Bitcoin 4-hour chart. The next video will be in probably about 10 to 12 hours or so, just depending on price action. Thank you.